and welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy Sunday, everybody. So I've had quite a bit of a busy week this week. So I'm going to work on one of my comparison paintings. It's the 40 by 30 that I recently kitted up, so you would have seen the video. And yeah, I'm still working on it. So there's no kitting up of the final one coming this week, but hopefully it will be here the week after, because I will be done. Or at least onto the final one. That's my hope, depending on how life goes this week, but I will have more time to do it this week. So I have been doing this one in the sort of advent calendar style, but I have changed up a little bit after, I think it was Margaret mentioned that she uses an app to decide her numbers. So I had a nosy, couldn't find a decent app, so I asked her which one she used, and I've copied. So I now use what's called Tiny Decisions as an app. So in there I have all the numbers, so it's showing number 2 because that's the last one that I did, and it blacks out the numbers, so I'm not even sure if you can see. You might be able to see better when I spin it, but it does black out the numbers that you've done already, so therefore you're only left with the choices of stuff you haven't done. Now there is 1 or 2 numbers in there that I have already done because I started doing it on the paper and I only changed, I think, when I'd done 2 squares. And I've just decided that when it gets to those 2 squares, I'll just skip. But I have 6 left. So we're going to see which one it is for this time. See if it's one that I've already done or one that I haven't. Number 6, I've not done that. So we'll go on to number 6, and that will then black itself out before I do the next choice. I think Megan has already changed to the app as well. She's doing one that has about 74 or 75 different options for her, and yeah, she's already changed up and inputted all those numbers into the app. Now you can reset the wheel, so if you may want to set up one for different size paintings or different amount of numbers so that you don't have to be typing them in all the time. You can have a few, but yeah, we're going to see how it goes, see how far I sort of get on this before it becomes a fair time to stop. I'm just having a look now sort of where I'm going to start, but I tend to like to sort of start and either follow this line and let the symbols decide, or follow this one. I think I'm going to do a little bit of both. I think I'm going to mainly go across this way, but occasionally the design here is sort of, this is a tree and this is part of the moon, and then this is the sky in between. So there is some sort of shading, even though there's a lot of confetti. There is a couple of little rivers in it, but not too bad. And I'm just using my straightener just to sort of flatten those out. I do find you can get those on double-sided tape canvases, and they either flatten out, or if they're a little bit bigger, what I do is I just score it with a little craft knife, and then I use my straightener to just flatten them out, of which, yes, I do have new ones. So first up is black, which is 310. I do only have a couple of these, so I will zoom in again in a bit, but let me just get these couple of black ones in, and I think that might be all I have. It tends to be more 939 that appears than black, so yeah, there was only 2. I probably could have just dived into my pot for those instead, but hey ho. Okay, so let's do some 939. I'm just going to do what I normally do, which is pop my pot back in, but with my lid off, so that I know which colour it is that I'm working on. If you can hear any music, I am sorry, Megan's having a clean of her room. She's having a blast. The messiness that she lives in, every now and then it gets to the point she's like, it needs a reset. So she's currently resetting that. I'm currently trying to get videos ready for this week, of which this is the first. Get these ready and film for this week, and hopefully get my craft room a little bit straighter. It tends to collect things for videos through the week, and then I get the videos done and I can actually get things put away. And that's sort of the stage where I'm at. It's like, okay, I need to get these videos done because then I can get stuff put away. But I'm just working on 939. This is a square, and this is now the third painting, I think, of this image that I've done. And I will be doing a comparison video once they're all finished. And then I do have another comparison coming up. A little bit of a different one. It's not just a standard stock image that can be picked up from a site. It's a little bit different, but that will be coming once I've done this. I do know that I need to work on my Heaven and Earth design soon. But the reason I sort of haven't today is because I'm not sure how long this WIP and chat is going to be. I'm sort of going to see how long I can waffle for and then stop. I don't think I'll be able to get the full section done. It's quite a big section. But in turn, on my Heaven and Earth designs as well, I sort of do a block of 6 squares when I work on it. And sometimes when I'm doing a WIP and chat on it, it can take over an hour if I'm doing the whole lot. Or sometimes I will do a bit of the WIP and chat at the beginning, and then I will get a bit done by myself with life going on around me, and then I will do a WIP and chat sort of at the end of it. I don't really have the time today to do that sort of longer video, even if the video isn't as long, but there's me doing stuff in between. I need to be very productive with my time today. So let me just zoom in so you can see sort of a little bit closer what I'm working on. I will move my easel. I'm just seeing how far I can get zoomed in. My easel from the lovely Diana. I have not stopped using this thing. Not stopped at all. I do have it on my light pad. The diamond painting is clipped to my light pad. I've actually got to the point where all the squares that are left all fit on my light pad, so I don't have to move it about depending on what squares picked, which is what I've done recently. But I don't have the light pad on at the moment. I may need to turn it on if I need the light underneath as well as over the top. But yeah, today I sort of need to concentrate on being as productive as I can with my time. Megan and I, over this past week and yesterday, have been working very hard at getting new things sorted for the website, new way of selling stickers that people have been asking for. So we've been keen to get that finalised and set up. Spent a lot of time messing with the printer yesterday and trying to get it to print exactly how we wanted to. We did try to get it done on a couple of evenings this week, but now we're also on it and we're like, okay, I'm too tired after a day of work to fight with this printer, and to fight with the files and to get everything exactly how we want it, because we can be a bit fussy. But yesterday we think we finalised it. They're not as centered, the stickers, some of them as we would like. They're definitely all centered in the fact that they're not cut off and stuff, but we've got to a point where we're like, okay, I can live with the way that is, and we're happy with it. So keep an eye on the channel. There will be more news on that coming next weekend, but we've been very busy with it this weekend, so we could get stuff finalised before Megan's off for half term next week. Not this week coming up, she's in school this week, but it's the last week and then she's got a week off. So yeah, apparently all the teachers are really looking forward to this February half term for some reason. They've been waiting for it now for a couple of weeks. I think, it's the busyness of COVID and stuff. Megan is still in work every day of the week due to the amount of key worker children that are still in school. They now have testing for COVID twice a week. So all the teaching staff get tested twice a week. And yeah, I think just the whole going into lockdown, sorting all that out on the very sort of last minute, scrambling to get stuff straight, get stuff set up, make it right for the kids, make it calming for the kids as well, because she's in reception, so there's not as much of an understanding as you could possibly give to some older children, trying to make sure that they're safe, you're safe. All that, I think, has taken it out of all the teachers this term, or this half term. So they are very, very much looking forward to February half term, I think. Have a little bit of a reset and go back in, and hopefully then, even if it is a matter of, kids are, all the children aren't back in for a while, at least they know what they're going back to. And I think that's just been the up and down since January, is the not knowing what's going on, and when things do change, not a lot of notice. So they're all very much looking forward to a week off. But yeah, it's been a busy time. As you may be able to see, I got my everlasting tips. So I'm currently using it on this pen. This pen's from Hand Turned Heaven, and there is an Our Favourites section on my website that will take you to both the site for everlasting tips, but also there is a link to Hand Turned Heaven as well. They're on Facebook and Etsy. So I've had a lot of questions. I've been using this pen quite a lot recently. It seems to be my go-to pen at the moment. I often change it up per picture, but because I'm working on a couple, I've sort of kept it as just using the one. And when the everlasting tips turned up, because we got a batch of these tips, if you can see, so rather than you just replacing the end of the pen, this replaces the whole lot. I like these. Somebody did recommend them to me, due to the fact that with the little tip, you can still find that the plastic bends. The plastic it doesn't bend as in it goes out of shape, but you can feel it give when you're pushing down a diamond. And I don't know whether it was because somebody mentioned it, or whether it was because I did have an everlasting tip in the pen rather than the brass one that you usually get. I'm not sure which it was, but I did notice it a lot more. I did notice that the plastic was sort of giving when I was pushing down on the diamonds, and I don't remember noticing that before I changed to an everlasting tip. So when they had their sale, I did purchase quite a few of these, and I purchased 3 of the straighteners. I do have quite a few pens that will take the straighteners, but I just purchased 3 because they are dearer. Megan has 1 and I have 2 on my pens. And then the rest I've just kept the plastic tips in. Now there are a few pens that I found it won't fit in nicely, this tip, because the length of this tip, the hole in the pen isn't long enough for it to go all the way in and sit flush. So I've just changed it I've just used the other tips that I had, the ones that just change the end on the plastic. So yeah, not all pens will take them. This pen, the hole was a little bit big for the everlasting tip. If that's the case, you can use a little bit of blue tack or white tack to make it fit in, or I couldn't find any blue tack or white tack when I was setting it up, so I just used a glue dot and just put a glue dot on the side of the tip and then pushed it in, and any excess that came out I just got rid of it, and it stayed in perfectly fine, and I really like it. Have I really been talking for that long already that my memory card's saved? Time flies when you're diamond painting, doesn't it? That's probably where all my time's gone. I haven't had much chance to diamond paint this week, but I have tried to make myself take a couple of evenings off from website stuff and get some diamond painting done. But I know I did take one night this week where I did absolutely nothing. No website, no diamond painting. I sat and browsed my phone. I don't know how I managed to waste so much time on my phone, but I did. And I just sat there and did nothing all evening. It was great. Then I went for a bath and then I went to bed. But yeah, I'm really liking these everlasting tips. I know a few people have had theirs start to arrive. So their sale was on, the 15th? I want to say the 15th of January-ish. 11th or the 15th. When I first was trying to decide what to order and when to order, things went out of stock. I may have discussed this on one of my WIP Chats. But it was like about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, Australian time. So I did give them a chance to wake up and cross fingers that they'd restock. If they didn't, I might have had to message to say, you're going to restock because I want. And yeah, I did manage, they did restock, so I did manage to get my order placed. So it may have been the 16th or the 17th. Due to the volume of orders, I'm guessing it's due to the volume of orders, it did take a little bit for it to ship. Did take a week or so, but it did arrive within a couple of weeks, which is amazing because sometimes, especially at the moment, the post can be awful. It seems to be very, very hit and miss. It seems as though there are some things in, depending on which depot it goes through, that seem to cause more problems. If it goes through, I know there's a lot of problems in the Chicago depot in the States at the moment. I've still got a parcel stuck there. I'm hoping it'll find its way out soon enough. I kind of feel sorry for the workers. I guess they get that feeling. I don't know whether they've got to the point now where they're just at that point of, do you know what, we do what we can do. But I can imagine as it was building up, we're getting that feeling of, you know, a humongous workload every morning that they go in and just trying to fight that feeling of never getting on top of stuff. I can imagine that sort of affected some of the workers. I hope they've all come to to peace with the fact that they can only do what they can do. At the end of the day, we are only human. They go in, they work, and when they come home, they just need to switch off. Having said that, I do hope that when they are at work, they do work, because I'd love my parcel. Okay, sorry, I'm just checking if all my letter K is done. There's quite a bit of confetti when it comes to sort of around the tree, and I think that it's that confetti that helps with the shading, but I do quite often end up missing one of the colours that I need. Get those back in, and then what I think I'm actually going to do is I think I am going to go up and try and get a few of these, because the next symbol here is the number 8, and that number 8 is all the way in the middle as well, whereas I think I'm at the point where I want to try and get all this confetti-ish bit done. And there are a few of these that I only need 1 or 2. So I might see if I can get this to just pick them up. It's a little bit hit and miss whether this tip will pick them up, and I think it's because I've not been using this tip for that long. And I think when you first get a pen, any type of pen tip, when you first start using it and put some wax in, I do find that you have to put wax in very often at the beginning. It's as though it's compacting down and filling the space that it's got. And I find once you've used a tip for a while and things have settled a bit, you don't need to put wax in it as much, and you can seem to get away a lot longer. I'm still at the stage with this pen where I'm having to put wax in quite a bit, and in a way it's relieving that this is an everlasting tip, in the fact that the wax ones, I would change them out if they got damaged or got a little dint or a bend in them. If it stopped me working on the painting anyway. If it caused me too much problem, I would change them out. And when that happened, I'd have to start the whole needing lots of wax, needing to fill it up with wax all over again. So I'm just going to grab this one here. There may be some of them over the other side. I'm not particularly seeing them, but I'm trying also to just concentrate on this side. So let's get number 4 and fill in some of these gaps before I get going to get this video uploaded and prepared. But I'm quite happy with the headway I've made on this painting this week, considering that I've had quite a few evenings that I've not done it. But I do want to get this comparison finished. As nice as this picture is, this is the 3rd one that I've now done. And I sort of know how it's going to turn out. Of course, each size is a bit different. But I'm so glad I worked from the biggest one to the smallest one. I think that is definitely the way forward. Some of the black drills in this have not been the best. Every other colour seems to be okay. I've not had particular problems with, but the blacks are quite awful, to be honest. So I will be glad to be finished with the blacks in this one, and hopefully for my next comparison, which while it contains a home fun, it's not all home fun. I'm hoping that there will be some nicer drills mixed in there with the different companies that I've got them from. Time will tell. I do also have my minions, of course. So what I've decided to do with my minions is definitely a bit of a longer term project. I'm not going to rush it, I'm going to enjoy it, especially the amount it cost. So I am more than happy to sort of spread out my Diamond Art Club minions. I am going to, so what I've been doing is I've been doing this comparison one, and when it gets to the point that this one is finished and I need to de-kit it and kit up the next one, that's the point where for the rest of the week, because I tend to kit up and de-kit at the weekend, for the rest of the week that we're in, I then do the minions. Oh, those two are joined together, so let's get rid of those. Yeah, I then spend a few days on the minions, and I might get a strip or so done. And then I will do a kit up, de-kit, ready for the channel the following week, and then I will go back to doing the last one. So it's working alongside it, but I will finish this one before I pick the minions up again, and work on it a little bit more. I do have the winter scene one, which is around. That painting I am sort of working on at the same time, not to a huge extent. So what I tend to do with that one, just in case people are wondering on how to sort of vary it up, but the sections on this painting are quite big. As you can tell, we've been waffling for however long. What's it been? Probably 30 or 40 minutes already. I've been talking to you while doing this one, and it will take me another hour and a half to actually finish this section. So it's a longer section. So I'll do a section of this in an evening, and then if I've only got, half an hour or an hour until I'm going to go to bed, but I still want to do more diamond painting, I will then switch out and pull up that winter scene and do one smaller section on there. And I can tend to do that one, well, the sections are a little bit smaller. It's also a round, not a square, which means I can actually complete it a little bit faster. So that's how I sort of mix that one into my diamond painting time, is when I've got less time to diamond paint but I want to get some done. Whereas with this one, because I'm doing it on the WIP Chat, I did the winter scene one last week. I think it was last week. Yeah, I did that one last week. So for this one, what I'll do is I will just cover this back up and I'll finish it off when I get my downtime this evening. But let's get the number 5 done, and then I think I might call it a day, even though I'm itching to fill in some of those number 6s. I think I'm just going to call it a day when I've got the 5 done, because there is quite a few. I've just knocked that one out of sync, so I'm just going to use my straightener to push it where I want it to go. If I knock squares out just a little bit and they're not quite as lined up as I like, but there's space around it, I tend to just let the next diamond move it. Okay, have I done all the 5s in that part? Not quite. There's one down here. So that's all the 5s in there, but there is a few 5s in here, in this part of the moon. So I'll get those added in while I have some still left in my tray. I've got a link to the tray on the website as well for anybody that's interested. But yeah, get these 5s done and then I'll finish the rest sat down this evening, and hopefully, say not this coming week, but next week, or next weekend for me, next week for you guys, you'll be able to see me kit up the smallest one in this comparison, which means that it will be ever so close to me actually showing you guys what they all look like completed and how it compares on a less detailed painting depending on the size that you go. But I've been very happy with what I can see so far in all of the sizes that I've done. I've been able to clearly see, you know, the design, but it is a basic design. I'm just going to tip a few more. Just a few more, because I've just got a few up the top here. But yeah, so far I've been able to see clearly, even the smallest one that Megan did. I've been able to see what the image is, so I've been very happy with that. I just think that we'll be able to see, you know, how much more detail you can get in some images the bigger you go, and hopefully that will help people if they are looking at a simpler image, and help them decide what size to get according to what clarity they want in certain aspects of it. Okay, one more. I am just going to leave that strip there. It's half covered. I could sort of try and trim it down, but I'm not going there for the purposes of this section because I'm so close to finishing. Okay, so let's zoom you back out because I have definitely waffled today. But there you go. That's where I'm up to on my 30 by 40 comparison. If I do turn my light pad on, I'm not sure if, I don't think that's going to make much difference to you guys. There's a little bit of a difference. It's definitely a lot different for me, especially when I'm working on it on an evening. But I have managed to get the whole canvas onto my A4 light pad. So this will just sit there until it's finished, hopefully. Unless, of course, I do any of my round, and then I'll switch it up a bit. But I'm just going to pop that one back on for now. That's another reason I sort of didn't want to move on to a colour in that middle section, is that has got enough room to stick, which means that it's safe and it's not going to pick up any rubbish. Saved again. Oh. Yeah, by putting that on, it means it's not going to pick up any rubbish or any dust bits until I get round to getting it finished. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you enjoy the videos that are coming up this week, in the coming week, and keep an eye out for the exciting new things on the website, which I'll be announcing next Saturday. And if you can afford it or are so inclined, you know, want to treat yourself to something for diamond painting, I do like these tips. I do like these. They're very, very nice. Anyway, I'll speak to you all again soon. Thank you so much for watching.